During a few of my recent videos, I have shown you the rack mount servers in the office of one of my clients. And I explained to you a few times that we bought 4 of these rack mount servers refurbished when we only needed 2. The extra 2 computers were to be used and available as spare parts. And one of the 4 servers I've had here at my lab, studio, home. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a tour through it as today's video, and I suspect that there may be other follow-up videos. I figured I'll go straight inside the computer instead of showing you around the outside, which is significant to show the outside. But I thought, well, let's just go ahead and start with the inside. I've got it on the turntable here, Lazy Susan. So this is where the drives go, and I've shown those to you in the office a few times. The LED screen, LCD screen, whatever it is. A VGA output, a couple of USB ports. On the side of the computer, we've got these mounting bolts or positions. And what we do on those is put the slide gadget, I want to use a technical term, that holds it onto the rack. And I think I'm going to be showing you more detail about that in another video. Here's the back of the computer, which you've seen. There's actually 4 Ethernet ports on this one, 2 power supplies. So let's take a look. You know what? I think I want to show the power supply, how they come out. There's that orange lever that I pointed out to you in another video. It just, you press that lever and here's the power supply. There's a fan on that side. Here's the connections. These computers are built and engineered to be very serviceable. Those power supplies can be pulled out while the server is up and running. Now let's go take a look at the front. Closer view of the front. Here's the lever for opening it up, and we can lock it, but this one's not locked. It's just simply lift that lever up and then slide the cover back. Well, straight up. It doesn't go back very far. The only times I've had to open these up during my experiences with this office was for cleaning. Now let's show you some of the fun modular stuff here. Here's the fans. These fans are very loud. You can see there's 5 of them there. To replace those fans, just pull it up. It's got a plug there that it used to get its electrical. Very quick and easy. I'll go ahead and take all of those out. They're numbered here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's the drive bays. This right here says backplane release. There's a lever. I've never tried taking this one out, so it might take me a little bit of futzing around. Ah, that's what it does. There's these electrical connectors here, a lever to press down, disconnect. Here, press down on this blue lever, backplane will come up a little bit and then back, then comes out. That's where each of the drives connect to. It's very similar to a SATA connection. Power, data. Some people have said that it is the same, but it actually doesn't quite look the same. These are SAS drives, SAS. This battery is connected to the RAID controller card. It would be providing power so that the RAID controller remembers the configuration of the two mirror drives that comprise the C drive and the 3 RAID 5 drives that comprise the data drive. Here's where the wire, I'm pulling it on each side to verify that that is attached to the RAID controller card. The computer has these helpful information. Here's the word airflow with an arrow pointing so that you know which direction the fans should be blowing air. This cover lifts up to give access to the RAM memory. There's no clips or latch or anything. It just pulls straight up. And then you've got 9 RAM sockets on each side of the computer for a total of 18 memory slots. They have these heat sinks on them. Take a closer look at the label here. It's 4 gigabytes RAM, PC3, on each side of the CPUs. So that's a total of 12 gigabytes on each side, 24 gigabytes total RAM. The RAM sockets are labeled, and there's a color coding. The white brackets for the RAM memories is the banks. So you see 3 white brackets there, and that first slot on the left is A1, and then go to the right, the second slot, third slot, then the fourth slot is A2. And then the third white slot would be A3. Then you saw A4 was the second from the left, and there's A5 is next to the second, well, next to A2. A6 would be next to A3. That's how you identify the banks. This is the left side of the CPUs. You can see the marking on the upper right. It says CPU 1, A3, A6, and A9. And I'm putting the cover back on to show that they are labeled on the cover the same way, so that you can see through the cover. There's actually a clear plastic there, so you can tell which memory slots are populated without even pulling this cover off. Here on the right side of the computer is the B memory banks, and that starts from the outside of the computer, as did the A side. The A side also started from the outside of the computer. The numbers work their way in. So there you can see B1, B2, and B3. Those are colored white, the slots are, and you can see that they are populated through that clear plastic. So B1, B2, B3, and then going back to the right side, B4, B5, B6, B7, B8, B9. There's the actual memory. Here's the markings on the motherboard for the memory slots. Between memory bank A and memory bank B, you can see the air coolers for the two CPUs. This computer has two CPUs. You can see the 4 square release buttons, one release button on each side of each CPU. And here you can see the labeling on the motherboard for CPU 1 and CPU 2. CPU 1 on the left, CPU 2 on the right, just above the air coolers. Here I'm releasing the brackets, holding down the cooler on both sides of the cooler. Position the camera, and there's the two brackets that you can see them at the same time. Then pull the cooler off. The thermal paste makes it a little sticky to pull it off. You can see the thermal paste on the CPU and the cooler. It's a little bit, the paste is a little bit stiff and dry. I'm not cleaning the paste off at this time because I have no intention of putting this computer back into service. Just releasing the bracket for the CPU itself. I might wind up starting up this server on the bench, on the workbench here, and see if I can compare the CPU temperature between the two CPUs, because one of them I removed the cooler and put it back on. Well, I'm going to put it back on without refreshing the paste. It'd be interesting to see if it shows any difference in temperature. So I took the CPU out, showed you what it looked like, showed you what the pins in the socket looked like, and then putting it back in. Then I'll put the CPU cooler back on and fasten it in place. As long as I'm not going to put this computer under any load, there's no problem at all with not refreshing the paste. This is one of the extra servers. This is not one of the production servers. Then I'm going to the power supplies on the back of the computer. You've seen them in prior videos. There's two redundant power supplies. There's a blue release lever, so that I can slide them out. Put this one up on top so you can see the connector. Then give a better view of the socket that pushes into. You can see the framework of where the cooling air would be coming through. You can see the fan on the back of the power supply that I have removed. You can just see a little corner of it in the upper right corner of this video frame, but you'll see it better in a moment or two. There you see the fan on the back. Put it back in, it snaps into place. These redundant power supplies can be swapped out while the server is up and running and in service. Here's a card that slides out of the left-hand side of the front of the computer to show the service tag and the express service code. You could use that express service tag to go look up on Dell some more specific information about this server. You can see here it's a PowerEdge R710. Then I'm disconnecting the power and signal for the DVD drive. It's not, it kind of looks similar to a SATA connection, but it's not. SATA connection, the signal portion of the connector is about twice the width of the power connector. There's that blue tab that I pressed on to, you can see on the back of the DVD drive, that blue tab that I pressed on to slide it out. There you get another view of the connectors on the DVD drive itself. Put it back in. It's a little snap when I put it in, and then reconnect the power and the signal connector. That'll be it for this, for part one of this rack mount server teardown. The second part will probably be tomorrow. There is more that I have recorded in tearing this down. my email address at the bottom of the screen, especially if you'd like to reach out to me for a remote support session during a live stream or a recorded video that I can upload later. I provide free remote support when it produces useful content on my channel. That'll do it. Have a great day. I hope this has been useful. I'll catch you later. Goodbye.